Welcome back, everybody, to the Rooted Lifestyle Podcast. We are your hosts, Camryn and Justus Woods.
Welcome back, everyone, for another episode. I hope you're having an amazing March and an amazing day overall.
I don't understand how it's already March. The time is literally flying by. We've almost been married a year.
I know. And that will be coming up soon. We'll discuss kind of what we've learned in our year of being married. But I know it's crazy. So we're going back to Mexico. We took our honeymoon in Playa del Carmen, but now we're going to Playa Mujeres.
Yeah, I don't know how to say it sounding all like
Playa Mujeres.
Mexican Playa Mujeres. I can't even. I'm not even going to try.
But yeah, it's been a fun year with you.
It has been a fun year. But before we talk about our wedding and marriage and everything like that, this episode is going to be recapping all of the travel that we have been doing for the past month.
Yeah, we've been so busy with travel and it's been hard to find time to record. And, we kind of sat and talked and we're like, why don't we just have a conversation about the things that we've done these last couple of weeks, just a part of our desire to want to continue to build community. And we've been fortunate enough to be able to travel and, do some really fun things with that community. So it's been a fun couple of weeks and excited to rehash and recap. We've done a lot of things. So
so many things.
Yeah.
So for the past 3 weekends, we've been traveling. So we will recap all of those. And then this upcoming weekend, which this will be posted after this weekend's done, but we will have been home in Charlotte for my sister's wedding, which is crazy.
Yeah.
She's getting married the same month we got married, which is so fun and special that we'll kind of get to share a wedding anniversary timeline sort of deal. But yeah, let's recap the first weekend of travel.
Yeah, so the first weekend of travel. It's funny because I had to take off a crap ton of time for the wedding and for the honeymoon for last year. So I didn't have any time off. I took no time off from I think it was June, maybe a day or two here or there, but basically from June all the way till
after
now.
the Turks and Caicos trip, you took no time off. So that was early June, right?
Yeah, so after mid-June to
until a month ago,
January, I didn't take off really any time. So I'm starting to use up a lot of it now because we've been traveling so much. But so the first weekend, which was the last weekend in February.
No, February, President's Day weekend.
February
17th.
Yeah, February 17th-ish. We actually had the opportunity to go to Arizona, Scottsdale. Well, more so Goodyear.
So yeah, we're visiting our friends, one of my roommates in college, and she's married to a guy who's in the MLB. So we love Tanner. He's out there training.
It's funny. I didn't even plan this, but I'm actually wearing the shirt that he gave me. So he's actually with the Cleveland Guardians right now. He just got moved up to AAA, which is awesome. He's killing it. He's almost in the majors. So watch out for Tanner Burns.
Yeah, seriously. He's the best pitcher ever. But so we got to go visit them, and we had planned this trip probably 2 months ago, which is really cool that we actually got to see it to fruition, because I feel like a lot of times we're let's just
we'll visit them,
stay here, or we'll visit you guys, but we never make it happen.
But we actually did. We made it a point a couple months ago to put it on the calendar. And let me tell you something, Arizona is so much fun.
Okay, we went at the perfect time because I left there and I was like, Justice, we should move here because the sun was shining. It felt so good. I was wearing shorts, tank tops. We could have tanned by the pool if we wanted to. Yeah,
we ate at this resort place, which was really cool when we first got
Elements.
there. Yeah, we had brunch there. I had this kale breakfast quinoa bowl, literally right up my alley.
And we had some cereal, homemade cereal dish.
It was
before.
a granola cereal thing.
So good.
It was so good. And, like Camryn said, the weather was absolutely incredible. We were wearing shorts the whole time, t-shirts, and we actually went right into it. We went on a hike. Yeah. We went on a 3-mile hike.
Camelback. It's a very famous hike. It was tough, y'all.
Literally right after we ate.
Yeah, that was an interesting decision. There is a railing on one part of the hike to help you climb because the incline is so intense.
Yeah, that's the one thing I will say. It's not a long hike, but you're literally climbing up rocks.
It's kind of a long hike. 2 hours up, 2 hours down.
Not for me anymore.
Okay, stop.
That's to come later.
For a normal person, 2 hours up is a long way.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. If it was just walking 2 hours straight,
bro, that would be
fine. But the fact that you're literally climbing up rocks, grabbing up railing and stuff, but
yes, and we didn't have any bags with us because
we were carrying our phones and our water. Could I cut you?
This is going to be an interesting conversation because I think that Justice tends to cut me off when he gets excited. So.
Sorry, I'm just so excited to talk about carrying our stuff.
I think I just gave him the death stare, so he's going to shut up now. No, I'm kidding. You can talk whenever. But what we were both about to say is that we didn't have any bags with us, but we brought water, thank goodness, because it's important to drink water when you're hiking, isn't it, Justus?
Very important. I don't know who doesn't do that.
Interesting. So we all had like water in our phones, but we literally had to be climbing with our hands, like climbing up rocks, all this stuff.
I thought it was just a casual hike, and then it's like we're climbing up these rocks. I'm holding my phone in my hand, like a water bottle, and I'm like, okay, like this is kind of annoying. But it was a good workout.
It was so
the view
fun.
was absolutely beautiful when we got to the top. We took some amazing pictures. There was actually a helicopter that came like
some rich people in a helicopter just come in to see the sights, and I was like, can you take me down on that?
But you can see like all of like the Phoenix area, and it was absolutely beautiful.
It was really cool seeing all the mountains. I think that being in Dallas, you just don't get any nature ever, so it was really awesome. I think it was also part of it. I don't claim to have seasonal depression, but I mean, there's a scientific fact behind like sunshine and what it does to your brain and how it can just make you like happier with serotonin and dopamine and things like that. So I'm not saying that it like got rid of my seasonal depression, because I don't think I have seasonal depression, but I think it just made me that much happier to be in like a sunshine place with the warmth on my skin. And good night. I was so pale. I was like, please give me some color. I accidentally got burned.
Well, Dallas is a sunshine place, just not right now.
Just not right now.
But it will be. It'll be too much of a sunshine
Arizona is
place.
just like a little ahead.
Yeah.
So it was great.
But it was great. So, after that, we went to a really good dinner spot, because by that time, by all the traffic, it was like we got back and it was already late.
Tanner had called us because he was training, and he was like, where are you guys?
Yeah.
And so we headed back, got ready for dinner, and grabbed some amazing pizza.
Yeah. But the next day, we had a ton of fun, because Brooklyn is actually an F45 trainer.
Go girl.
And she brought us, not to one of her classes, but we went to an F45 class. And let me tell you, I've never been to an F45 class. That was my first time going.
Yeah.
And it was actually really tough.
It's great because they fatigue like every single muscle group with whatever you're training. So I think, what was it, full body?
It was full body, yeah.
Okay, so sometimes it's like lower body, upper body. Because I actually...
It's like full body cardio and cardio.
Yes, it's called something specific. But I actually was going to maybe be an F45 trainer like a couple years ago, which is funny. So I know a little bit about it, but I've also done it in college and stuff. But I love F45. You get so sore afterwards because you do so many different exercises. Yeah. And you're working within like seconds, so like 40 seconds or 20 seconds of work, and then rest and whatever. You're just constantly going, and it's a 45-minute workout, but it's hard.
Yeah, it's like the constant working. Like there, how many stations were there? Like 15, 12?
13, I think.
Yeah, and you're doing each one of like 4 or 5 rounds with like the declining time. Like it kicked my butt. Like it was awesome. I was sweating, and of course, obviously afterwards we had to go get acai bowls.
Oh, of course.
Which were also very incredible.
So good, and we did this without Tanner because Tanner had to work every single day. Yeah. So like half of it we did just with Brooklyn, which was so great to just be with her, and then half the time we got to be with Tanner too. But yes, we started our morning with a workout. We got coffee. We got acai bowls. What else did we do? Hiked again. We hiked again.
Yes. Was that the same day? No, that was a different day.
We were there for like 4 days.
Yeah, this was the day that we
you worked out. Brooklyn and I walked.
We went back to their apartment and I worked out again.
Yeah, this guy over here, he's like, the workout was so hard, goes, I want to go to the gym when we get back. And I was like, dude.
I had to do some arm farm.
Yeah, you had to do some arm farm, and then Brooklyn and I walked around. She showed me her place where she lives and walks all the time, and that was really sweet. And then we got ready.
Yeah, we went to go kayaking.
No, that was the next day.
Really?
Yeah.
What did we do then after that?
Oh. No, we went kayaking the last day. I promise.
The last day we were not kayaking.
Do you want me to prove you wrong? I have my phone right here.
Oh man, she's gonna prove me wrong.
I have my phone right here. This is embarrassing. We should know what we did. We just had too much fun. We had way too much fun.
No, because I think I remember us because we said we didn't want it to be the last day. But you can.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
Ha.
You are right. Oh my gosh, I stand corrected. So we had this absurd idea to drive literally an hour away and go kayaking, but you had to like drive to the place to pick up the kayaks and then drive them to the river. And let me tell you guys, if you want some comedic relief in your life, get 2 guys and make them attach kayaks to the top of your car, because it is
try to put on 2 kayaks stacking them on top of each other in a little car. What car?
It was like a Nissan Rogue.
Yeah,
they have a rental car out there right now, so we were driving.
So we were trying to strap it onto the top, and it was interesting for sure.
And then our kayak didn't have the fin on it, and so when we would move forward, it would literally take us like far right or far left. So it was exhausting.
I forget how exhausting kayaking is. It's very.
Well, I think if you have a fin, it's a little bit easier.
Yeah, we kept on going. Yeah, we kept swerving in direction. after. But
Brooklyn and Tanner, like, where are you guys?
But it was a beautiful, like the water was so calm and still. It was very beautiful. You got to see all like the mountains and all the cliffs and everything.
We were there for sunset, which
we were there
was
for
awesome.
sunset. We were trying to see these wild horses, but they were too far down and like we couldn't reach them because we just kept going side to side. So we're like, okay.
Intercepted with a couple and we were like, hey, did you guys see the horses? She was like, oh my gosh, girl, they're so far back there. And we immediately were like,
yeah,
okay,
we're like,
turning
nope,
around.
nope.
And we could have driven to go see them, but we were hungry and we were like an hour away from home
Yeah.
because we were in Phoenix at this point. But it was so fun. That was definitely a highlight of the trip.
That was definitely the highlight.
Oh my gosh, the bathrooms.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh, y'all.
Those bathrooms were the worst. They had these bathrooms at like one of the rest areas, like where we kayaked, like where you kind of load and unload. And let me tell you, that was probably the worst smelling thing I've ever smelled in my life. I think.
Did you go in it?
Yes.
Ew.
It's. I think the smell stayed with me and Tanner because me and Tanner went in, and like you could smell it from probably like 50 yards away.
Ew, Justus. Okay, yes, because we were taking pictures.
Yeah, we were taking pictures
when you guys came out, and I guess the wind blew or something, but I got a whiff, and I was sprinting to the car. I was like, get me out of here. But that was so fun. And then what did we do for dinner that night?
Mexican.
Oh my gosh, yes, on the way home. We went and got Mexican in Phoenix. So then the next day, our last day, so sad, we went and worked out at Lifetime, which was great. We did leg day, recorded some content, loved that. And then after that, we went hiking. That's when we hiked our last hike.
I forgot what the name of the place we hiked at.
It's like a famous hike in Scottsdale. Sedona? In Sedona. Guys.
I forgot.
We're the worst.
Well, we hiked a really cool place. This one was a lot less like climbing up rocks. This was more like, just walking.
But before this, remember we went to go eat and Tanner and I got 2 margaritas each. And so I was hiking while intoxicated.
Yeah, they decided it was a great idea to go. You weren't intoxicated. It was taking.
I wasn't intoxicated. I was intoxicated. Intoxicated means like you have alcohol in your system.
True.
I wasn't inebriated. Is that the right word?
I don't know. I guess so.
I don't know.
But yeah, they thought it was a good idea to have 2 margaritas each before we went on a hike, and they were dying.
I wasn't like sick or anything. I was genuinely dehydrated, exhausted. I was like, my legs can't do it. And Tanner was like, yeah, I'm gonna be in the back of the line. Mr. Mans was all the way in the front.
Yeah, I think those margaritas helped him.
I
actually,
think so
he was
too.
like leading the charge.
He was, and then you stayed back and helped me.
Yeah.
Thank goodness for that. But the hike was really fun, and then
we went to dinner at this really good like Mediterranean spot.
So good. That place was so good.
We ate at like 9:30 though because they didn't have any reservations.
That was a really cool area. Then we went and got Jenny's, and then went home, went to bed, woke up early the next morning.
Yep, and came back here.
Yeah, so that was awesome. That was a great trip. It was so good because I never get to see Brooklyn and Tanner. There's some of them our long distance friends that are always traveling, like they live in Florida or Cleveland or Arizona, and it's just like I can never drive to you. So it was really special to be able to see them, spend quality time with them, just like uninterrupted time with them.
Yeah.
And it was the best. So that was weekend number 1. We came home on Monday because it was President's Day weekend, and then like grind time just Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday because Friday we both took off because we were both going to various places.
Camryn was going back to Auburn for her cousin's surprise proposal engagement party.
It was so fun.
And then I went back to Arizona.
Guys, this goon.
To hike the Grand Canyon.
Like, why didn't he stay in Arizona, you ask?
Because of work.
I know, but like, couldn't you just work from home? We're in COVID times.
We're like 17 years removed from COVID.
Yeah,
time.
he had to go to like the client site and stuff. But Justus went back 3 days later.
But do you want to explain how your weekend went?
Yeah, me talk about mine and then save the best for last. Is that how we're doing this?
Or I can go first.
I'm just kidding. Mine was incredible. So it was the best to be back in Auburn because I went to college at Auburn University, and I had only been back one time in the past 2 years that I graduated. So going back was just a dream come true, honestly. I was like, cousin's getting engaged. I get to go back to my college, and my mom was coming, and I hadn't seen my mom in a while.
And you got to stop in Atlanta and see some Atlanta friends.
I have tons of friends who live in Atlanta who are also from college. And so I spent like half of Friday in Atlanta hanging out with my friends. We got some brunch, some mimosas, went on a walk. I don't know what's up with me drinking and then going on walks, but we did that on Friday, and it was so sweet, quality time with them. And then my mom picked me up. We drove to Atlanta. We drove to Auburn, spent the night there. It was really hard not to run into my cousin, Peyton, because she was the one getting engaged. And I wanted to shop around downtown Auburn. And if you've never been to downtown Auburn, it's like literally an L-shaped strip. Like it's very small. And she was like in downtown. I was tracking her, but my phone was dying and we were like hiding out in stores and all this drama. But it was so fun. She had no idea. Her surprise was that Saturday night. She was crying. She was so excited. All of her friends were able to travel in, which is such a gift. I mean, that's kind of how it was for us. And it's just like the best feeling in the entire world.
I think that's the most fun. I would recommend everybody do that. Like have your friends there to celebrate like after the engagement. If you don't want to have them there like during it, that's fine. But like definitely like plan like a party or something afterwards. Cause that was like the most fun It
was so fun. Yeah. So it was great. We were there for hours at someone's house and it was the best. And then we got to see Peyton and her family again the next morning and then drove back to Atlanta. I stayed the night in Atlanta, hung out with my friends again, got to see them again, which was so great. And then I flew back very, very early Monday morning.
Because you had to work and there was the cheapest flight.
So
because we got those flights like very last minute
because I didn't know if we could go. Like you were like, I'm going to Arizona.
Shout out Delta.
Yes, we did. Well, one way Delta,
the other
Delta.
way
Southwest. But yeah, it was great. I had to wake up at 4 and then landed at 8 a.m. in Dallas. And then I taught class at noon. I was like, how am I going to do this? But
you killed it.
I killed it. And I'm very thankful for that. So I basically just chilled the rest of the day on Monday. But
do you think she was surprised when she...
Oh, 100%. Wait, about what? The engagement?
Was Peyton surprised about the engagement?
Oh, 100%, because she really had in her brain it was going to be during the summer because there was this whole story behind he has a boat that he needed to sell. He was like, Peyton, don't worry. I have to sell this boat before I can get your engagement ring. Like, that's just how it's going to be. And so she was being so cute. And they just had this conversation like a week or so before. And he had already asked her dad for her hand in marriage and like permission and all this stuff. So it was really sweet that she had no idea. But she was like, oh my gosh, this stupid boat just like needs to be sold. And of course that wasn't like actually the issue. It was just a way to distract her. So she had no idea that she was getting engaged. And then he did tell her about the party because he knows her really well. And so she doesn't necessarily do great with surprises. So he told her that there was going to be a party and they just got to kind of like decompress, live in the moment during a 45-minute drive to the party. And then we celebrated all night.
Yeah. Wow.
It was great. It was so great. But I say like I chilled on Monday. After I got back, and that's actually not true at all. Justice will explain why, but starting Saturday, or I guess Sunday morning at 2 a.m. Or was it Saturday morning at 2 a.m.?
Sunday morning at 2 a.m.?
Sunday morning at 2 a.m. is when I have never had more anxiety in my entire life. I've never felt anxiety like this, and Justice will explain why. Take the lead, babe.
Oh, man. So a bunch of my friends and I decided it would be a great idea to hike the Grand Canyon rim to rim to rim.
So in case you guys don't know, like north side,
so you go
south side, back to the north side. It is how many miles
total?
Well,
we went from south side, north side, back to south side.
Don't think it really matters which way you go. It's the same thing.
It is 46 miles total, I believe. Okay. So like 23, 24 miles each way.
Okay.
Typically, rim to rim to rim, people do rim to rim, and then people also do rim to rim to rim. And you typically do it over a period of like a couple of days. They have like campsites, they have hiking like grounds on the bottom. You can like spend the night there. You casually hike, you take a break, and then you keep going the next day. My friends and I thought it would be a great idea to try to do it all in one day, and which is a challenge. People have done it before, not to say that
under 24 hours.
So in under 24 hours.
But it's not a common thing.
But it's not a common thing. And we decided to do it because we wanted to be challenging. And let me tell you something. That was the craziest experience that I have ever had in my life. The craziest experience. So to paint the picture for you, we started on Saturday at 10 a.m. So we did this because the North Rim is actually closed through May for repairs, which is like, I'm like, what are they repairing on the Grand Canyon?
Maybe the trail.
Are they like adding rocks? Well, yeah. Well, I'll get to that in a second.
Yeah. So these boys see that and they're like, oh, minor hiccup. We
adjusted the time that we're leaving. So they closed the North Rim from 8 to 4. We were originally planning on leaving at like 2 a.m. to like start in the dark and end in the morning, like later in the day, or end like in the later afternoon. But because of this outage, we had to be through the rim, through the south or the North Rim by
Before 8 a.m.?
Yeah, before 8 a.m. and after 4 o'clock. So we had to push our start time to about 10. So when we started, it was great. Vibes were high. You start off and there's like, of course, like it's the touristy area. Everyone's walking and stuff. So it's like you're happy, you're smiling.
And it was beautiful. You took videos, pictures.
It was beautiful. I took videos, pictures, my backpack. And it's funny. Camryn took videos and stuff in my backpack. I literally stuffed my backpack.
The night before he leaves. He's like, maybe I should try and see if all of this fits in my backpack. It doesn't, but somehow you made it fit.
Stuffed it all in. So I had a ton of snacks. I had like warm clothes because we were like, okay, it may get cold in the North Rim and there may be a little bit of ice. I got water, like a water in my bladder in like the sack of the backpack. I have
not his like physical body bladder in the backpack.
In the backpack.
That's what it's called.
I have like a bunch of emergency stuff. I have a life straw. I have like a emergency blanket,
sticks,
my
coats,
poles, my
extra
everything.
Pair of socks. You got
just extra
spikes,
pair of stuff.
All these things.
I pack up all the bags, so we're good to go. We have all the stuff. We're hiking. We feel good. It's really beautiful. Like you walk down there, you see like donkeys or like horses being like gone up the mountain and stuff, and you stop at all these points and you see how big the Grand Canyon is. Because I had never been to the Grand Canyon at this point, and it was absolutely massive. So it was great to see. It was great to see those things. And then as we kept going, I think we were in about our. When did it start getting? We went to a couple stops. They actually have a really cool place called like the Phantom Ranch down at the bottom where you can
lemonade.
Buy lemonade. You can buy like supplies. You can buy food. It's actually like a mini like bed and breakfast thing.
Oh, that's so cool.
So you can like stay the night there, and they have breakfast in the morning. And they have like dinner. They had like a steak dinner that night.
I wish you stayed the night.
I know. I wish I would have stayed there for the steak dinner. So we were feeling great. So everything about that was great. And so let me explain to you what went wrong with hiking rim to rim Grand Canyon. So this was about hour 11, and we had just gotten to the last campground before we hike up the North Rim, and it's roped off and it says like closed, but it
literally says like don't caution, it's closed, and there's a video of them looking at it and then stepping over.
But there was just this little old lady who came down from it, and she's like, "Oh, there's a little bit of snow up there. Like y'all be fine." Blah blah blah. And we're like, "Okay, cool."
Liar.
So we were just taking a break, getting some water, packing up our stuff, and we went up the mountain. So we were starting our ascent up the north. At this point, it was actually pretty tiring. We'd been hiking for 11 hours at this point. It was probably like 20 miles so far, so like we're pretty tired, but like, okay, we saying all we have to do is get up the North Rim, and then it's like downhill the rest of the time, and then we're smooth sailing. So we start hiking up, and then it gets dark, very dark. We take out our headlamps is another thing I packed. And it's actually terrifying. You're climbing up, scaling the side of the Grand Canyon, and you're looking over, and you just can't see anything.
No, it's pitch black dark, and if you fall off the thing, you're dead.
Yeah, and it's like some of these like the walkways are like as wide as like my shoulder. So we're just taking our sticks and poles, like hiking through, like cautiously trying to go through, and then we make a stop up at the top, and we're all feeling good. One of my friends actually pooped on a rock.
Literally, why did you just say that? Like. Why did you just say that on the podcast?
Because it's funny.
Oh my gosh.
One of my friends pooped on a rock.
Stop, don't say it again.
I said that's when everything went wrong because it smelled so bad. But
my gosh.
We put on our headlamps and then we keep going. And then we encounter snow.
How much?
The snow, we brought spikes because we thought the snow, there was going to be ice. So we were going to be like, okay, the spikes will help us get through. No, there was actual snow that was literally about knee deep or knee high snow. It was insane. And the thing is that like you're hiking with these poles, and like you stick like the stuff in front of you, and you don't know if you're going to hit like 1 inch. And sometimes you're like, okay, good. And then you keep stepping, and then you just sink. You sink all the way down.
Horrifying. In the dark. It's freezing.
It's cold. And then some of the guys, there were 6 of us. One of them started to get altitude sickness because the elevation of, I think the South Rim is like about 7,000. You drop down to about like below like 6,000 feet below, and then you go back up 9,000. So the change in elevation is like real. and he started getting sick, and then that's where it went bad for me because I started getting the worst full body cramps that you could ever imagine. I've never cramped this bad in my life. I was cramping in my hamstrings, my quads, my groin, my calves, and my hips.
That sounds horrible. So there's a video of Justus like on the side of the Grand Canyon, like sitting on a rock, and one of his friends is trying to stretch him out because Justus is literally like not able to walk far because he's cramping so
and
bad.
Like I'm here, like I'm slamming like 3 or 4 like dry powder electrolytes, like trying to get something, and nothing's helping. Like I had salt tablets and everything, and nothing worked. So I was scaling up the mountain. We got somebody had altitude sickness, and then half the party kind of went ahead and tried to get it to the top because we were close. And let me tell you, the last 2 miles was probably the scariest, hardest thing I've ever done in my life because I felt like I was getting full body like tased. So every probably like 10 feet or so, I would just collapse, and like it would just be like convulsing in my quads and stuff. And
I literally can't even hear this. It makes me sick.
It's funny because I had
It's not funny.
No, it's funny because I had my friends behind me, and it was like first they were like, "Oh, it's okay, like you could take a break," but then just got to the point they were just screaming in my ear to like, "Go, get up there!" And that's what I needed. But it was tough. Like I pushed myself to the absolute limit, and when I got to the top, of course there was just more snow up there, and it was absolutely freezing. So there was so much snow up there. It was 17 degrees. And we did not prepare for this. So we had like layers, but not winter layers. So at that point, we're all up there. I'm completely cramping. I don't think I can continue. Somebody else got altitude sickness on the way up. He was like vomiting every single step of the way up. And then we get up there, and then one of the other guys starts throwing up his food. So we're like, none of us can go here. Like, or most of us are not going to be able to go back. So 4 of us actually stayed behind, and then the other 2 went on. Just to fast forward, they actually ended up completing it. So they did rim to rim to rim,
boys.
In 46 miles for 26 hours, which is crazy. So they did a whole another 14-hour hike. But let me tell you about my adventure afterwards. So the 4 of us, we had stayed at the top, and we tried to call someone to try to pick us up. And apparently there just needs to be a whole...
Not like a friend, like a ranger.
A ranger.
No one is coming to pick you up at the top of the Grand Canyon.
There needs to be some sort of like accountability for like people who stay at the Grand Canyon. Like you buy a pass to the Grand Canyon and you just go. People don't know if they don't know if you'll ever come back.
No, because people either have a guide or take days to do this or have a group. So
yeah, but still, like there needs to be some sort of like ledger of people who've maybe checking off people who come back to be like, okay.
No, that's not a thing.
We were trying to call, and one of the guy's girlfriends was like calling 10 different people. So we ended up getting somebody on the phone. But it's crazy because it took us so long to get somebody because there's nobody usually working there. Because first of all, the North Rim was closed, and then it was also midnight at this point, and it was February, which people don't typically hike rim to rim to rim in February. And these guys come up, and they came an hour later, so it was like 12:30. And they were like, "What the heck are y'all doing? Like, what was your plan with all this?" And we were like,
questions.
and we were like, we were just gonna hike and go back. And they were like, "Well, like."
They called y'all idiots. They were like, "You guys are being stupid." Like, why?
Basically, and at this point, like one of the guys had started a fire, and I was wrapped in my emergency blanket. My feet were absolutely frozen. Like I was cramping like crazy. But we got into the ranger's car, and it's like a cop car, so they had like these like jail cages in the back. So I felt like I was going to prison. And they were like, "Do you mind if we just drop you off at like the nearest spot?" Like the South Rim is actually a 4-hour drive from the North Rim.
Also, before this, like just so you guys know how down bad they are, like the Rangers had to like check them out to see if they needed to go to the ER.
Yeah, they were like, "Do you need to go?" They had to check our stuff and be like, "You need to go to the ER or anything?" And we're like, "No, we're fine. Just get us out of here."
And at this point, Justus had texted me. And this is when my Saturday or Sunday morning at 2 a.m. went down bad because I was just like awake, checked my phone. I had not heard from Justus in 11 hours because you don't have service hiking the Grand Canyon, which like fair. The only text I received from him is something along the lines of me and blah, blah, blah had to get emergency rescued from the North Rim. That's it.
No, that's not true. I updated you multiple times.
And then I texted you, and then whatever. You can keep going, but y'all. I didn't sleep the rest of the night.
But yeah, so we got in the car and he was like, do you mind if we just take you to the nearest spot? Like the South Rim is 4 hours away, which is absolutely crazy. So we're like, okay, whatever. At this point, I was delusional.
And in Utah.
I was just like, well, I was getting to that.
Sorry.
I was delusional. And I was like, okay, just take us wherever. So we drive an hour and a half. The nearest hotel is an hour and a half at a La Quinta in Kanab.
A La Quinta in Kanab, Utah.
In Kanab, Utah.
Smallest city ever.
Which I get out the car and I'm like, where are we? He's like, we're in Utah. And we're literally 4.5 hours away from the South Rim where we started, where our hotel is. The other two guys in our group are somewhere in the Grand Canyon. We have no they have no cell service. We have no way of seeing if they're alive or dead. I literally, when they left, I'm like, this is probably the last time I'll ever see them.
Oh my, what?
I thought that. I was like,
Are you serious?
Yes. I was like, this could probably be the last time that I see these guys.
Justus. That's really scary.
So we're in Kanab, Utah, and we basically have no way of getting back. We're 4.5 hours away.
So you slept for a little bit at the La Quinta.
So we got some rest, but then we woke up and we're trying to call so many different places. Like we called Uber. There's literally one Uber driver in the whole town, and he charged like $800 or $900 for us to go to back to the South Rim. We're like, heck no, we're not doing that. We tried to do a rental car. There's only one rental car place, and you have to return the rental car, so we're not returning it. We tried to do a U-Haul, but it was Sunday and all the U-Haul places were closed.
The irony is that they had 3 or 4 cars back at the hotel.
We had 3 cars back at the hotel.
So unfortunate.
Yeah. So we ended up, one of my friends, he ends up talking to somebody who referred him to somebody else who told him about somebody else. And long story short, we ended up driving 4.5 hours with this random guy and his wife in their pickup truck.
But they were so sweet.
And they were super sweet. For about $500, $600 or $650,
more than that, yeah.
To go all the way back to the South Rim, and we timed it up perfectly to where when we finished, the guys who were hiking, they had just finished as well. So that is my story of the rim to rim to rim, and I do not think I will be going back.
Y'all, I literally was just like, Justus is the type of guy, like most guys, who are just going to be like, I'm good, like I'm good, while his leg's falling off. And he's like, yeah, no, I'm good. And so I hadn't like really FaceTimed you, but for a couple minutes, and I wasn't sleeping. I was freaking out. I was trying to help them figure out a way to get back to Arizona from Utah, all this stuff. But I was being no help. And like I was trying to enjoy my time at Auburn. So it was really tough for me. But I was just like I had a busy week ahead of me also with work and stuff. And I was just really anxious all day Sunday and all day Monday until I got to pick up Justus with one of the other wives. And we picked you guys up at the airport, and it was just like, I needed to see you, because knowing that you literally said if I would have continued, I would have died is like, why are you smiling? That's truly so scary.
No, it was actually scary at that point. I'm not kidding. That was probably one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life.
Like one of the guys, their mom bought them life insurance before going on this hike. And I was like, I didn't know it was this treacherous. Like I truly did not know it was going to be this strenuous, horrible on the body, all this stuff. But you came back and you were literally like, should I go to the gym tomorrow? And I was like, no, you need to sleep. You need to rest.
Yeah, I took a day off.
You were okay when you got home.
I was good. It just took me a while.
But let's talk about how it was preventable for a second.
Okay. Let's
talk about it. No. I'm going to take the wheel. So this man doesn't drink adequate amounts of water leading up to it.
I will admit. That I will 100% admit. I did not drink adequate enough. I should have been drinking electrolytes and water a lot before I start, which is hard. But I will say at work it's hard to do that. So, but I did not make it a priority. So I should have been doing that.
So that was preventable.
Yes.
Not preventable was like a lot of water stations being closed. That was not your fault.
That was another thing. There were multiple water stations closed. I think we only stopped at 2 or 3 water places.
But the interesting thing is that the guys informed me that every time you stopped to get water, your bladder was still full. Because you were not drinking.
It's hard. It's hard to take pulls and move with the pulls while drinking.
You put the thing in your mouth. You literally put the thing in your mouth. It's on your backpack. You don't have to get a water bottle out.
I think what did me in was that I drank when I was thirsty, not like throughout the whole time. So that's what I need to. But I will say I was trying to conserve water because I knew that there was no water at the North Rim, and I didn't want to be running out of water.
Well, you save too much.
I know, and I saved too much. So yes, it is preventable. We know that now. for the next time that I go.
We had to have a hard conversation when he came back, and I realized all these things that he could have not made happen. But
we're alive.
That was your crazy. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Thank the Lord. You almost weren't. But they're crazy. And I'm really proud of you. I'm really proud of all of you guys. You guys did something really hard, really crazy. Yeah. And I'm just grateful that you're all home and you're all safe, because that type of stuff is crazy.
And so right after that, a couple of days later, we actually went with us, a couple of the same people that I went on the hike with. We went to Austin, and Camryn went to Austin for the first time the following weekend.
I had never been. It's only, 3 hours away from us?
It's about a 3-hour drive. So we came back from the Grand Canyon, came back from the engagement on Monday. We left on Friday to go to Austin. And yeah, it was a really fun time. I don't know if there's really many like huge highlights with that one, but it was, we got to watch Anyone But You.
We watched Anyone But You. We played pickleball for hours.
Ooh, pickleball was so fun.
It was so fun. I'm really bad.
We're going to start playing a lot.
Yes, we need to order paddles.
Yeah.
A goal for mine is to get better at playing pickleball, because I want to be better. I definitely needed to get into the groove.
Get some great action shots.
Oh my gosh, we took action shots of everyone. Justus posted them on his story when we were there. They were so funny. But yeah, it was super fun just getting to know this group of people a little bit more. Ate tons of good food.
Very good food. Austin has such good food.
Such good food. Our Airbnb was adorable. It was right by this coffee shop called Joe's Coffee, which I'm obsessed with. I wish I could go back.
We walked around a park. 10,
the weather was amazing.
The weather was beautiful.
It's very crowded though.
It is very crowded. Well, that's everyone says about Austin. It's like the infrastructure is not meant for the amount of people that are there.
Yes. And like the water was great. Like the little lake or river or whatever's in there was great. The walking was great. Weather was perfect. Overall, great weekend because of who we were with and what we did. It was awesome.
Got to go to a couple gyms.
Yes, you toured 2 gyms.
I went to Lift ATX, which I've been there before because I've traveled to Austin for work, and I love going back there. It's the most grungy, like, outdoor gym ever.
I went on a walk with a couple girls.
Yeah. And then we went to The Collective, which is like this super high-end bougie.
You're bougie.
I am bougie. This super high-end bougie gym with like this huge like black indoor turf. It had a lot of cool things.
So cool.
No, yeah, it was very fun. Just a lot of eating, a lot of working out and exercise.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just great overall.
For sure. And then let's see, today right now is Tuesday, tomorrow's Wednesday. So tomorrow night after your work thing and after I teach my class, we're going to rush home, eat dinner, and head straight to the airport. And then we land in Charlotte at midnight tomorrow night. So then we're home for my sister's wedding, have that all weekend long. And then after that, we get to chill.
We have about a week and a half of chilling, and then we head to Mexico.
And that's going to be chill.
But that'll be chill. That'll be chill.
So all that to say, this past month has been incredible, and I know it will continue to be incredible. I'm very excited for March, but I'm exhausted. But I feel like we both did a really good job of resting during the week and like taking care of our bodies during the week.
Yeah.
So that we can really be healthy and well for like the weekend, which is really fun.
And that's where it's important to practice some of the stuff that we were talking about, even too, like how we eat when we travel, and just like sticking to like getting back to routine and stuff, because I love traveling, but like getting back to routine, I need my routine. So like coming back, it's always like a good way to like reset your body by doing like, your morning and your nighttime routines and everything like that. But yeah, overall it was fun.
It was great. So yeah, we gave y'all some insight into our lives. Hope you enjoyed it. Our lives are interesting and crazy, and Justus almost died, but we're here and Justus is alive, and I'm grateful for that.
The podcast is the only thing that kept me going. I was like, I gotta make it to post this on the podcast.
Please.
Well, thank you guys so much for listening, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.